Summoner's Rift. Seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned. First blood. An enemy has been slain. A summoner has disconnected. An enemy has been slain. A summoner has reconnected. Enemy killing. Shut down. Double kill. Triple kill. An enemy has been slain. Rampage. Double kill. Your team has destroyed a turret. Godlike. Shut down. Double kill. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn." An enemy has been slain. Shut down. been slain. Your turret has been destroyed. An ally has destroyed a turret.
Not much, just chilling. Nice. Still good. Oh, I was just gonna say, I still didn't get my stuff quite working yet. So I'm kind of around looking at that. But that's cool. So, what it just manages all the additions and creation. Oh my god. That's yeah, my problem now, I think I more or less have things in place for the run. And I forgot to try adding it through the front end. I think that'll work. Probably should have tested that. But anyways, now my problem is in server tests, I try to run the analyze script and it can't import like utils from scripts. It's like can't find it. I'm like, yeah, I figured that much out. I kind of like put it down, so, you know, it's like still a holiday. I'm getting tired of this, but I'm wondering if maybe I have to put server tests in front of server core. I think I have. Yeah, but why? You have to. But that's the thing. How does server core work then? Like, huh?
Your turret has been destroyed.
Oh,
An enemy has been slain.
what the fuck? Can we just leave it? Huh. Is it good stuff or? Huh. 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 Should we just get rid of that then, or you think we'll end up using like the library? So is that like half the memory usage of the apple? Oh, that's weird. Did Max work there long? Oh. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I noticed that I think it's like the config file or something for the front end. I don't even remember the guy's name. It's probably not Harvey or something, but it's some name I've never heard of before. I'm like, oh whoa, this must have been like the original front end guy or something. Yeah, it wasn't Joel because I wouldn't mind that. bought some more cigars today, and the guy at the shop was telling me that the wrapper, so the leaf that goes around, the outside of the cigar, I already knew that it's the nicest leaf because it's like the wrapper, so it looks nice and everything. And then the filler stuff, gnarly or it doesn't matter, it's just the filler, right? But apparently the wrapper is more expensive than everything else in the cigar put together. It's not like there's a lot to a cigar, but there's the wrapper and there's the binder that kind of, binds together the filler. So like a shitty wrapper basically. But then the wrapper's on the outside and that costs more than all of the filling. It's like kind of crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, this one is a Connecticut wrapper, and I don't really like Connecticut wrappers, but the guy said, well, you already got the other stuff you like, you should try this. Try something. I'm like, all right, fine. And I would still say I like Maduro wrappers better. But this one is good as far as the Connecticut's go, I guess. It's funny though, the smoke shops that have like bongs and all that too, they always have deals where you buy 4 or 5 cigars and then you get another one for free. So it incentivizes you to buy a bunch. But the dude at this is an actual cigar shop, they don't sell bongs and shit. And he almost didn't want to sell me more. Like, oh, this is a different vibe. But they don't do those deals where you buy 4 get 1 free or anything. So he's basically just trying to give me something that I'll like. And I think I gave him the vibe too that I wasn't going to be in there much. Or something. But I've been smoking a lot of cigars lately and stuff. Like, I need more than like 3 days. So I did figure out concept in the most general sense of the Python path. Like, okay, yeah, server testing. I guess I got to reverse the order probably or something.
Yeah.
But do you understand well how those imports work? Because I feel like, if I was starting over, I would be able to make them work or something. But I don't understand why it's such an issue. It doesn't make sense.
The Python path is just where it looks for Python imports. It's the same as like your system path, which is where it looks for executables, right?
Well,
There's not
yeah,
really more to it than that.
Yeah, but why isn't it? Because I had this problem with Charles. We were troubleshooting it like a few weeks ago because he was having this problem. And I think it's because he made a new folder in scripts and the Python files in that folder couldn't import from like the parent folder. And it just doesn't make sense. I mean, he had to like force something into the Python path. And it's just like, I get how that solved it, but it just still seems hacky. Like, I don't understand why I can't resolve, the import path or whatever.
Well, you need the Python path, don't you? Like, otherwise, how does it know where to import stuff from? Like, I think by default, the where you run the Python command from is in your path. But the problem is that we're running stuff in sibling folders. We're running some stuff from server core, and we're importing some stuff from server test. So you need 2 things in your path instead of just where the executable is running from, right?
Well, maybe that's the issue then, because normally the relative import should work fine, but because we're not executing it from the right root folder, it's not resolving the relative imports correctly, I suppose. Is that the problem?
Maybe. I've never tried importing stuff from the parent folder in Python. I didn't even know you could, honestly.
Well,
It's just use absolute paths from the Python path root.
Well, for some reason in server core, it works when you import, Yeah, the relative imports actually don't work in server core, but instead you just do, app dot whatever and the whole thing, and then you import whatever little pieces you need. But let's see. Yeah, it still seems like you should be able to import from like scripts dot whatever. Because scripts is in the server test folder, and in server test is in your Python path. It should just work. I don't understand. And it's weird. I guess one of those imports was like dot dot scripts.
I didn't
Well, I guess
know you could do that because like dot is this folder. I guess dot dot is parent folder, but like I don't know. Python actually understood that.
yeah, it does, but not in this case for whatever reason. And it's probably like you said because we're not executing it from the folder where that would normally work.
Yeah, it might be doing dot dot from the Python path root folder is my guess.
Or it might be doing it from whatever folder you're executing it in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, one of those two. It's got to be the one you're executing in. Yeah.
Yeah, that I haven't tested all that, but that probably makes sense. I just don't want to like screw with it because apparently it's working like before it was working for me, and it's working for other people. So I don't want to like mess it up to make it work for me and then it doesn't work for everyone else.
Yeah.
But I wonder then if instead of scripts or dot dot scripts, if we just do server test dot scripts.
Yeah, we should. I don't know who did dot dot. It might have been me actually, but like you shouldn't do that. Just use absolute paths. Much better.
Mm-hmm. I think it's in utils though. That's the weird part. It's not even like one of our little side packages that somebody made. It was having this issue in the utils file. And that one, I don't know, I would just assume that it would work, but yeah, I don't know. I'll have to mess with the Python path tomorrow, I guess. Oh, I found out something cool. At least in ZSH, if you do typeset dash capital U and then an array variable, it'll dedupe that array.
Oh, cool.
And in ZSH, I don't know fully what typeset dash capital U means, but I just know that at this point that it does that. But in ZSH at least, there's the path, right? But path lowercase mirrors the capital path.
Yeah, because in Unix the casing doesn't matter for the path, right? In Windows it does.
No, it does matter. The lowercase path, I don't know if it matters overall, but in this particular case, the lowercase path will give you back the path, but with spaces instead of colons, and it's an array. So that's why you can do typeset dash capital U lowercase path, and it dedupes that array, and it's mirrored in the single string, just capital path or whatever. So that's cool. So I think my reload thing will work now that I have that in my RC. Whatever.
That's cool.
I think it's a little bit dangerous though, because what order does it leave it in? I haven't checked yet because I guess it's done for today. But because like if you have conflicting paths, which I have a couple of, where it's like if you're doing the x86, then it puts some paths in that will resolve first. So it's like, well, do those continue to resolve first if they're duplicated, or like because one of them is towards the back where it's like lower priority, is that the one it keeps? I would assume that it does it in an intelligent way. But the thing is though, is if you were doing some more hacky stuff where you're like editing the priority in your path, and then this typeset thing could basically like invalidate it as a stack if that's the way you're treating it. So probably just a bad way, like treating the path as a stack and trying to push and pop off of it or something is probably just a bad idea anyway, I guess.
Yeah.
But I was considering it because I'm probably just going off the deep end, but I'm trying to get it to work so that when you do nested, oh yeah, and that was one of my problems, is that doing a nested terminal was not resolving correctly. And I think I can fix that, but I might have already fixed it, but it just starts to get confusing.
Yeah,
because
right.
when you enter into your terminal, you're in ZSH and say you're on ARM64, if you do the Arch-86 thing into a new ZSH terminal, it inherits from the one you're already in. So now there's a bunch of stuff in the path already, and it's adding onto the path again. If you go deeper again, and I don't know if it's common to go deeper or not, but if you do, your path is like getting longer and longer. So this typeset thing will dedupe that, but then it starts to get confusing about, is it the priority of things being respected, or I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. I know in general you want to keep your path as short as possible because it will slow down your terminal. Because for every command you run, it's going to check everything in the path to see where it can find it. I guess it'll stop at the first success though. So.
Right. I suppose, yeah. So it'll only be this. If you have duplicates, then well, that's the thing. If you have duplicates for those things, it'll only be super slow if it doesn't even exist, and then it has to check literally everything. But I suppose if you're checking for something in bin, and you have a bunch of duplicates in front of that, it's probably gonna check everything first, huh? So yeah, that makes sense to keep it short. But yeah, this typeset thing, I think it'll serve me well.
Nice.
I guess I'm a little bit trying to do what you were saying the other day, basically, where I think at this point I can just get it working, but I kind of like it to work in the most intelligent way possible. So that's why I'm going a little bit on a tangent. But tomorrow I'm going to have to just get it working because I can't believe I spent quite a bit of time this weekend trying to figure this out.
Yeah, it's super annoying though. I was trying to get my terminal to work on Alacrity or whatever, my Starship to be faster. I was like, can't get anything to go. Couldn't even get my Postgres to work from ARM or whatever. It's also annoying.
Yeah. I started getting confused because I was trying to put stuff in Z profile. And I think I understand better now how that works, but I started messing things up because I was trying to put stuff in there, but now in the Z, the RC file. But at least with ZSH, I think, so there's this concept of a login terminal, and then I don't know if it's considered a nested terminal, but just a non-login terminal. And I think the login terminal is the first one to open. And this, as I understand it at this point, the Z profile script runs in your login terminal. I forget if it's before or after the ZSH RC. But then when you go into a nested terminal, the Z profile, I think, does not run.
Yeah.
It's one and done. So so I don't want to put the switching behavior on the architecture in the Z profile because it's only going to work in the login one, and I'm trying to get it to work in the nested ones. So
Jeez.
it's confusing, but like I said, trying to get it to work the intelligent way, and I think if I can figure this out, first half of tomorrow, then it'll be pretty cool because I'll actually understand what's going on. I guess it's my main gripe at this point is I don't really understand how half of this stuff works. I just get into a working state and then don't touch it again.
Yeah.
So it's funny. It's making me think about things you've said about the type of work we do in AMO and stuff, and also me being in my second year now, professional anyway. How I have fairly deep knowledge with certain things in Namu, but like then setting up the front end, I'm a newbie again. I'm like, I have no idea how any of this works. You know, it was working before, and that's that. I think a lot of David's scripts are. Well, I don't know if they're all David scripts. Some of the scripts in the scripts folder, anyways, I think are like, you know, bash scripts, and I just don't touch those. I'm like, I don't know how that works.
I mean, they're pretty simple if you look at them. They're like, I don't know. A lot of the scripts will just ping an endpoint with like the args. See if Ari comes up. No one's coming.
This reminds me, David's like, well, do we really need the Finance completion? I'm like, no, but how do you live without them?
Yeah.
I'm almost regretting getting into the shadow refs, but I guess it is kind of, I don't know if it's a key feature, but it is good to tackle, but it's just been such a pain, and now I'm dealing with this stuff, and like, man, I'm still not really like at a completion point with the shadow refs.
Yeah.
I'm tripping over new stuff now, like the shadow refs could just go on for a long time at this point.
I know. The DevOps stuff is honestly just such a pain. Because it's not even like there's much generalized knowledge. Like, Bash has different syntax than ZSH, which has different syntax than Fish, and they'll run different scripts on startup. Like, you'd think this stuff generalizes, but actually, like, none of it does, which is so stupid and annoying.
Especially with the front end, though, because it's like, I don't really even know how it works, you know, so even something stupid like, oh, it's pointing at the wrong URL for the backend. That's why it wasn't working. That's dead simple. But there's a million things about other stuff it does that I have no idea about. So like, it's hard for me to whittle it down to like, oh, it's just something simple. Because everything else, I have no idea yet.
The front end stuff is annoying, but I feel like people would have the same issues. Like even at Amazon, if you're trying to run the front end and it's like, oh, it's not as simple as just clicking a button. I configure a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. I was hoping to like add a few things to the README or something that I came across, but I've come across so many things now and I can't remember it. So, you know, because today's Labor Day, Blackwater, the coffee shop I've been going to, is closed. I was almost kind of glad, because I feel stupid going there on the weekends, because I'm like, I literally go here every day, and I don't like it as much as Denver's vibe-wise, but it's just so convenient because it's so close.
Right.
And but unfortunately in this area, there's like, I think a couple other spots within, you know, a reasonable radius that I could check out, but it's Labor Day, so I'm like, well, Blackwater closed to get a local place and they're closed for Labor Day. Like all the other local cool places are going to be closed, you know. So I just went to a Caribou, and that's mostly what's around here is like Caribou at Starbucks. There's like 5 to 10 of them within a 10-mile radius. But it's like, dude, that's so boring.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the memes you send about like the America starter pack or whatever.
With the Perkins and the yeah.
It is pretty lame.
Yeah, just all the same stuff. It's like, I don't know.
Like, I don't mind the suburb stuff, but just that, yeah, like everything's changed now, and there is a good reason for that because like a lot of places aren't chained; they're just kind of hole in the wall, dumpy places, you know. So like, there's a reason why the chains do well, but same more important. When I was watching my brother's place, I went to some local Mexican joint, and I suspect they have some better things on the menu, but I didn't, you know, I was checking it out, and, you know, they didn't speak good English, and like, well, it's good here, and they're like, well, most people get the California or whatever. I'm like, alright, I'll get that. And they did have, like, you know, refried beans, and I don't know if it was straight up Mexican rice, but that stuff kind of seemed more towards the authentic side. But then the burrito thing I got literally just tastes like Taco Bell. I was like,
no.
this is lame, dude. Like, even if you like Taco Bell, it's still just like, I might as well just went to a Taco Bell, you know? Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Being further out, you know, you gotta get a bigger house and stuff for the same price. There's definitely some upsides. But being too far out, yeah, just through like, you know, your options, your convenient options are greatly reduced, you know?
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that, for sure. But, you know, if you are going to drive somewhere, things are farther away, but there's also less stoplights and stuff, so it's probably not quite as bad of a drive as I think. I'm just super easy, and I want to practically walk to the place. Like, I've still been driving lately, but for like 2 minutes, you know? Just like out of the neighborhood, 1 minute there, another 30 seconds to park, boom, done.
Nice. That's like another of the fuck cards Reddit memes where you just drive around the corner basically. There's these top view maps of like suburban neighborhoods, and it's like a giant spiral like neighborhood, and it's like literally just across your backyard there's a coffee shop, but to get to it you have to drive out this like labyrinthian maze. Like park right next to your place. I understand the intention though, is that there's like not so much through traffic, you know. You make the neighborhoods intentionally windy.
Yeah, that's kind of part of it, I suppose. It's... I don't know if I have a preference there. I think part of it is like wanting to go do something more interesting, so you're not just on a block, you know?
That too keeps you paying attention. And going slower too, I guess. If there's kids playing, there's a curve coming up, you gotta slow down for the curve anyway.
Yeah. It's a little more boring too, if everything's just straight, you know?
Yeah.
But... yeah. I should really start walking again before it hits winter, but I don't know. I was doing pretty good, going, you know, walking a ton, then I started going to the gym a lot, but this last few weeks it's been getting lazy, and and I'm feeling behind on work, so it's easy to justify like, oh, I just gotta get to work, you know. But I don't know how much more I get done doing that because I don't know. Something to be said for like getting some activity as well. I know you have like smaller teams at Amazon, but still at Amazon, like,
Your team has destroyed.
do you feel like you work like in a team more than at Namo, or
No.
do you still feel you just work on your own little corner just like you do at Namo, or what?
It's way less than Namu, honestly. Like, I don't know, Namu, you at least talk to people in Slack. At Amazon, no one talks to anybody. You just get your tickets and you just work on them, and they're all like stupid simple. Most of the code is written by people who've already left because the median tenure is like a year. It's 1.1 years, and like I told you, I'm already one of the most senior people on my team. So all the code is written by like my teammates who've already left. So you're not really gonna talk to them about it. There's not really anyone to ask. But it's also pretty clean code. It's all like low code and serverless, so it's not like there's anything to really talk about or ask. It's just kind of like, well, do we want this to do that? Okay, look it up.
There's lots of pieces, but the pieces are minimal.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say there's a lot of pieces. It's all like just pretty easy stuff.
What the hell?
Yeah. Nothing's as complicated as Namu. There's no crazy algorithms or anything going on.
My cousin hasn't gotten back to me yet. Apparently, I was gonna talk to him last Sunday, like go into his office and meet with his, I don't even know what his title is, but his guy, you know, that's like, I don't know, must be the senior guy, whatever. But you know, it's the weekend, so of course, like, it's like, ah, sorry, it's not gonna work out. You know, Lee doesn't work for Lee, you know, on Sunday. We'll have to do it another time. I'm like, oh, that's cool. You know, I actually have like I have a full-time job, so like I'm not hurting, you know.
Yeah.
And what I was gonna, I didn't realize it was a holiday weekend, so I was gonna try and like talk to him this weekend. But then I got the computer on Friday, and I'm glad I didn't talk to him or try to set anything up because sitting with his computer is kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping though to get it running, and you know, I just get to the point where it runs, obviously, but I'm hoping to get it running, you know, where it's like solid. Then I can think about doing work for him. I just definitely don't want to be burning weekdays in summer.
Yeah.
Probably, I feel like I should have the attitude of like, well, they pay me to work during the week, not on the weekend, but I don't know. Can't help it. It's still my thing, I guess. Coding.
Yeah.
Austin's wife, Jasmine, was a few weeks ago mentioning like, you should get, you know, do you think you can teach Austin how to code? And I don't know if they meant like straight up teach him, but I was like, yeah, sure, yeah, I can help. But I don't think he actually has any interest in that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm like, yeah, pretty much anybody can, but like it's just about whether you have the interest to keep through it because it's super boring to learn. It's only fun once you get the hang of it, like guitar and stuff. Super boring to practice your scales and all that, learn the basics, but then it's fun when you can riff.
That's so funny to me because I didn't think it was that boring learning it. The very
built different.
Yeah. The very beginning stuff, I think I could agree with, because you have to kind of trudge through that, like you've said before. What is an int? How do you add numbers. It seems straightforward, but like, how does it work? In the very basic syntax. But I don't know if I recall that boring to me. I just remember being frustrated because I had things I wanted to build, and like that game idea with the neural networks or something.
Yeah.
And even today, that's like probably an immense undertaking. Even like forget about an actual game. Oh yeah, that's right. I wanted to make like little neural network creature things, basically like those YouTube videos you see now, where like, oh, we create
Yeah.
these rules, we run the neural network, and the blobs, look at the behavior.
Yeah.
How cool!
I remember that. That was cool.
Basically, what I wanted to do, but yeah, but turns out like neural networks are like an advanced topic for people with experience because it's like pretty high level math, and I still don't really understand it, and so it's kind of crazy, yeah. And so like learning the
Yeah.
trying to do that is super frustrating. So if you go that route, then you really have to have some tenacity because it's not going to work out for you for a while.
Right. And then just
But
inevitably you're gonna get issues with like, I don't know, tracebacks and stuff.
with what?
Tracebacks and everything, like, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
There's always gonna be just random stuff breaking. Like your life is just stuff breaking, and even when you're like really good, stuff's still gonna like just not work.
Yeah. It's so nice in Namu though when some crazy shit breaks and you're just like, oh, I know exactly what it is, and fix it in like an hour.
I know. Namu is like such a deep skill set. It's like it takes someone new like a month, and it take me like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Just probably because it's coded super bad, or it's just overly complex. It's just like one of the most complex things ever written.
The logic is just that complex though.
Yeah. Yeah, the logic is too, like they'll just write in the Word document super complex shit. What do you expect?
Yeah. It's funny, I haven't tripped up on this in a while, but I remember tripping up on like, if the definition name has this, or it's contained in a definition whose name has this, or it's contained within a definition. The way they write it doesn't help, but
Yeah.
when you don't even know like the flow of that logic in the program, you're like, I don't even know what I'm trying to do here.
Usually if they give me an example, it just helps a lot. I'm like, oh, I see. It says THL means that, and then that will be the borrower. Okay. And once you can see it, then it's just easy to write.
Yeah,
But
that's definitely...
it's harder to explain it than to like just show it. Like, oh, there's just like, you gotta go here, then here. Yeah, this guy is super cool. This is Dean from DB01 playing the dragon.
Oh, yeah.
Almost no one plays the dragon because he's not meta. He hasn't been meta for a long time. Like, he's just in a bad spot. Not very strong. He's weak.
Or...
Aurelion Sol.
Oh, Draven.
No, Aurelion Sol. Dragon. Yeah, not Draven.
Oh,
Draven's
yeah.
pretty strong. Aurelion Sol is weak.
Draven's always been strong, right?
Yeah, I feel like.
And they have like a crazy executors.
It's got, yeah, like a bunch of bonus damage on each auto from catching his swords. Got a cool ultimate too.
Isn't he the one though where you can do like a true damage execute and you can like
Oh no, that's Darius. He's like Draven. He's super strong too.
Well,
Draven's got
Darius
the axes, the bouncing axes, with the light on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah, and I know who Darius is too. Spin the wind guy, right? Or no?
No, that's Yasuo. Oh, spin to win guy is Garen. Sorry. The wind guy
Garen.
is Yasuo. Spin to win guy is Garen. That guy's super dumb. I hate Garen.
Darius is the guy who hooks you with his axe. Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Pulls you in.
Yeah. He's got that execute thing for his ultimate, right? And I don't think you can just do it whenever, but you can like do it on multiple people when you activate it, right? Like if you
can do it whenever, and it's like true damage execute, but it does more when you have more stacks of bleed, which bleeds come from all his basic abilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you kill someone with it, you can do it again.
Right.
You can, dunk
yeah.
all 5 people.
Yeah. They still releasing new characters like every 3 months.
Yeah, it's like one a month. They used to do like 2 per month, but now it's like 1 a month. They're kind of
I
cool.
thought they told them once every 3 months or something.
Oh no, it's definitely more than that. It's probably once
Really?
a month.
Really?
They're cool. Like
That's-
every third character is pretty interesting. Some others are kind of
Oh.
basic.
Yeah, after I stopped playing that game for a long time, I was still pretty impressed that there are several characters where you're like, wow, you've actually found a new thing to do.
Yeah, I
Like,
know. Kind
there's
of crazy.
200 some characters and you're still inventing new interesting ones. That's pretty impressive.
Right? Probably over 500 if you count Dota and Heroes of New Earth and, you know, all that.
Well, yeah, but
It's
don't they
still
kind of like mirror each other with a lot of characters?
a little bit, yeah. Some of them do.
Like, there's a set of characters that share similar abilities, but they're just different combinations in the different games.
Yeah.
That's pretty insane. I bet you, I wouldn't be surprised if the people who work on some of the stuff in that game have a similar thing to Namu, where like this specific knowledge to this game and how all the interrelationships, mostly like between the abilities, I suppose, but because it's one thing to like just invent a character that has some moves or whatever, but if you're gonna make a balanced character, right, he's got to fit into the meta of 200 some characters and
Right.
not stand too far above or below.
Yeah.
It'd be like really difficult.
That'd be just nuts. I can't imagine the code for the game too, because you know they got the character now that steals an ultimate of any other character. But then you
Oh,
think
yeah.
some ultimates really play into a character's kit. Like Heimerdinger's ult like empowers his next basic ability. So how does that work if you steal that? Like, you know. But they
Mhm.
made it work somehow. And then they made another character who steals the 3 basic abilities but not the ultimate. And like I just can't
Oh.
imagine the code for that kind of stuff. Oh, he steals their items and everything too. I guess that might be
Well-
easier code. You just like replace the character. But man, all the interactions and stuff, like, you know, some things will disconnect projectiles and everything. Can't imagine coding all this. 5 stun types, knockups and stuns and charms and everything. And then
It's
items that
like-
modify it and then runes that modify it. Like, it's like a tower of modifiers on top of every single thing that happens.
Yeah. There's probably a few like crazy math geniuses that work there.
Yeah. Ooh, against Reneckleton.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Seconds until you spawn.
I did want to do that. Roy covered down all of this.
Yeah. That's because we didn't go tonight. Although I probably could have. It didn't rain.
That would be a random score at like 6.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Minions have spawned.
We usually take Zuko out at 5:30 and 9:30. But like it was supposed to rain. Then it rained too early and then it stopped. And now I don't know what's going on.
Oh.
Had like no rain this summer though. I feel like it's been over a month since we've gotten like actual rain. Yeah, it's a drought
Really?
technically. And crazy.
Oh.
First
I
blood.
don't pay that much attention to the weather, but we had like a week or two where it didn't really rain. Excuse me. A few weeks ago. But I feel like that's normal. At some point in the summer, you just have this dry spell.
Yeah.
But we've got rain. Yeah, and then like the next week after that, it was like rain the whole week. And I think recently it's rained a couple times, so it's been okay.
An
Lawns are
enemy has
looking
been
good.
slain.
My mom's got this weird thing going on in her lawn where along the edges of the driveway, there's like a dead strip in the grass. And what's weird is it's not right up against the driveway. It's a few inches over.
Oh.
Super weird. And because they're like theorizing, like my family, that like, you know, maybe the tar, you know, it's black, so it gets hotter, obviously in the sun, so, you know, it might burn out the grass next to the driveway. And that kind of makes sense, except, like I said, right next to the driveway, the grass is back after that dry spell. But then a few inches over is where this dead strip is. And I'm like, that just doesn't make sense. Like, I wonder, her house is built during that COVID housing boom, you know?
Yeah.
So they really whipped stuff together. And she had said, like, the ground underneath the grass isn't, like, very good soil. It's, like, got a lot of rocks and stuff in
An
it.
enemy has been slain.
So I'm wondering if however they did with the driveway and stuff, if they just like, got the worst of it in the strips next to the driveway for some reason. But she got some, she bought some planters for flowers. They're like, I don't know, probably 3 feet long and a foot wide, so like rectangular.
Yeah.
And she had put flowers in it for her at the flower store. And you know, it looked nice and everything. But the flowers, instead of just being like these little flowers in the planters, they've grown like maybe at least a foot, if not like a foot and a half. So they're like sprawling out of the planters. And yeah, it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look like a nice little flower pot. You know, it's like this like, overflowing flowers. It's kind of funny. I just realized, even if I set up my computer correctly tomorrow, I still have to parse.
Oh yeah.
So I'll be on my old computer tomorrow for sure.
An enemy has been slain.
As much as like I did want the newer computer,
An enemy has been
I feel a little bit bad about it because the old one works just fine, except that it doesn't like charge correctly sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, you know, I don't want it to just crap out and then I'm really screwed. So I'm glad that we're dealing with it. But aside from that, I feel like I really could have used that old one for another year for sure.
Right.
And, you know, it's not my money, but I just don't like wasting things.
That's fine. It's more of a waste to have your time lost if it like breaks down.
Yeah, that's just the thing. I've been really we have Apple Care, you know, for our computers.
Oh yeah.
I think we got the even more premium one. I'm not totally sure how it works, but I think we have like Apple Care Plus or something like that. And I've been I don't know how much to pay for it, but I've been realizing the value of it now because, like, you know, you consider like how much I get paid and everything, and the time spent dealing with these problems and stuff.
Right.
You know, if you're doing this to make money, it totally makes sense that like if your computer goes down, you want to just immediately taken care of. Because, you know, like when I was younger, if my main computer like had problems, I would spend a long ass time figuring it out, trying to find a workaround, whatever. And it's part of why I'm as comfortable with computers as I am, because I did that. You know, I think, you know, a lot of us did, but as kids, but it's not really realistic to deal with it that way now. You know,
No, it
where
doesn't
like
make any sense.
basically like these problems we're having now with the M1, the Apple Silicon not playing well with the 32-bit program, Python, and all this. If we didn't have to deal with that, then we wouldn't, because it's like so time consuming, you know?
Right.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Shut down.
So I have a router that I bought when I was at Josh's, and we ended up just using that for the whole house. But for a while, I had it like, I don't really know what the terminology is exactly, but it was like a subnet or something underneath Josh's router, and I actually had it set up where it was semi-private. So like, if you were on my router, it was a local area network, and it didn't have access to Josh's router. And I think it was a setting in Josh's router where you have to set this device as like a pass-through, like it doesn't connect with the rest of his network. It just goes through that router straight to the internet. But it was pretty cool, and I kind of like set that up here because then I can mess with it, you know, and it wouldn't conflict with Paula, who she works from home too, so that's kind of, it needs to not conflict with hers if I'm going to be messing around with shit. But I was trying to get that set up again because I can, it has like OpenVPN. I think it uses OpenVPN built into it, which is pretty cool. So I can like VPN into the router pretty easily if I have it connected correctly. Yeah, so I want to set that up again, but it's having an issue because, you know, her router is like in her office upstairs, and it's all the way across the house from the stairs to go downstairs. So it's just not practical to put a Ethernet cable through the whole house like that, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't really want to punch holes in her walls if I don't have to. So I wanted to get it like set up, connected to her Wi-Fi. And I still think that's possible, but it's more convenient because it's like consumer grade stuff, so it's not really like helping you figure that out. It just wants to connect directly to the internet and just work for you. And I'm like, I want to customize it. So I could install a custom firmware or whatever, but so anyways, I was having a hard time setting it up though, because you really should Ethernet into it and then set it up before you go on the Wi-Fi. It's just not really designed to work immediately with Wi-Fi. So in order to do that, because I couldn't Ethernet into the main router, you know, I ended up connecting it to my computer, bridging my computer's Ethernet to the Wi-Fi card, and then going through her router, right? So as when I was setting this up, I had my phone connected to my router's Wi-Fi. The router was connected by Ethernet to my computer. The computer was internally bridging the connection to the Wi-Fi card, which of course was connected to her router, which then connected to Ethernet. And it was just working. And I'm like, this is some bullshit. But 22, I was telling you, like, yeah, I'm watching these networking videos at 4x speed. And I realized a little bit later, I was like, you know, these videos are like very 101. I'm watching them this fast because I already like have tangential knowledge about all this stuff, and it's like basically a refresher. And but it made me realize once again how like being professional, you're just quickly beyond the YouTube phase of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like every single video was like, subnet mask, what is it? And I'm like, yeah, what is it? And they're like, so check it out. So like in binary, numbers are like ones and zeros. And the mask is how many bits it's masking out of the address. And I'm like, dude, I know how binary works, man. Just tell me what it is, you know?
Yeah.
And then it doesn't go any deeper. I'm like, oh, okay. but at least the basic concept is, I guess it's your like your, I don't know if it's the gateway or whatever, but you know the 255.255.255.0. It's like keyboard or something like that. But what that's doing is in binary, when there's an AND operation with your IP address, it's masking out the part of the IP address that's just your network address. And so, you know, the first three numbers separated by the dots are to your router, right? But then 0 through 255 on the end there is your local IP address. It's the part that matters in respect to your router. So it's just masking out the network. And I'm like, oh, that's super simple. I understand what that means.
But wait, how is the last part your IP address? The last part's only 3 digits, right? The subnet mask is 333. Isn't the IP address like 11 or something?
Wait, 333?
Yeah, subnet mask is like 255, 255, 255 is like the default subnet mask, right? So how is the last component your IP address? My
So
IP address
think
can't be
about, like,
255.
Yeah, so think about like, you know, the normal IP. There's a few of them that are usually used, but like one of the most popular is 192.168.1 and then .1, and that's like your router usually. Well, the 192.168.1 part is just the IP address, the routing information to get to your router. And then once you get to that point on your local, then your router is just number 1, like device 1. And you know, your computer might be device 2 or whatever. And so the subnet mask 255, 255 in binary masks out that higher level information that you don't control, which is just the like external part of the address. I forget what the right terminology is, but so it might not be masking it out. It might actually be used in the opposite way, where like you apply that mask and it masks out your local part of your IP address to get your network address. I think that's what it's actually doing. But yeah, it's just that's what's funny about it, is it's not actually that, as far as I understand, it probably gets more complicated, but as far as I understand, it's not that crazy. It's just separating your local, the part of the address that's your local network from the part of the address that's like the external network. And it's all just one number in binary, but there's no periods in the number in binary. It's just 4 bytes of information. So however the stuff uses it, it just uses that mask to figure out the external network part of your IP address and separate that from your internal network part. So like, as I understand, you know, you can't set a computer on your internal network to like, oh wait, that's not even, I don't know. This is the thing. I think it gets more complicated, but in general, though, your device is not going to connect. When your router is like 192.168.1.1, your device isn't going to be like, you know, blah, 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 .2.1, because everything's got to be underneath your router. So it's masking out that part that's, I don't know. Now that I'm talking to you about it, I feel like I know less than that. But anyways, basically, I don't think it's as complicated as it sounds. Also just made me think that like they just use a lot of terminology that feels kind of unnecessary to me. It's just an industry terminology, I guess, but it makes it sound crazier than it necessarily is. There's a bunch of like acronyms they're using. You know?
Yeah, ton of them, right?
Like, have you ever been trying to set that up, like to play video games and stuff when we were kids? And sometimes you need to like do something with the NAT, the NAT. And it's always like, I don't know what this is, but it says to fix it, you gotta do this thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And, but that's the, I think it's called the network address translation. And in essence, I guess all it's doing is taking your local IP address and then translating it to the external IP address. I guess that's where it gets more complicated, because the 192.168.101 is kind of like a fake address, because like externally your IP doesn't start that way. It's whatever, you know, is provided by your ISP. So that NAT is translating that local, you know, fake is the wrong word, but the kind of like pseudo address, translates it to the actual real address that gets sent out to the internet. And I wouldn't say I know like a ton about this, but I think what's going on is like, so you have like two devices that are connected to the same service. I think what's actually happening is you're probably using two different ports, and your router just knows that like port A translates to this IP address on the local network, which is like a PlayStation, and then port B translates really to this address on the network for this service, which is your computer. And they're both connecting to Xbox Live or whatever. So I think it's more or less just a way to extend the number of IP addresses, and really just to condense down your local network to like a single IP address on the internet, you know, because there's not enough IP
Yeah, last
addresses.
Thursday, November.
I watched a video that did a rundown of like I forget which order it goes in, but the like level 1, level 2, level 3 type of networks, and that was pretty cool. So like, I don't know which direction the numbers go, I forgot, but say the level 1, the most local level, is like your router, you know, with your various devices on it. But if you're like in an organization, you might have like multiple routers in like different parts of the building, and that might qualify as like a level 2, where you have like an even more central mega router, which connects to all these branches in your network, and then sends it out to the internet. And then like an even higher level, I don't know if that counts as level 3 or whatever, but if you have like some of these like corporations, you know, like Lifetime Fitness and Chen have,
Lord, we gaming. And Tarek's just AFK top shoving.
Your turret has been destroyed. Dominating.
Yes, good boy.
Shut down. Godlike.
Catch the Bambi. Catch the Bambi. Oh, she's just feeding anyway. What do we do? Take these?
An enemy has been slain.
Yep.
It's 11.
Hey,
Yo.
jeez. Aaron crashed his bike.
Oh no.
He T-boned somebody, I guess.
Dang.
So he broke his wrists and shit.
Oh, that sucks.
I
And
don't think he cares that
motorcycles.
much. But maybe don't mention it to Austin immediately because he's like just figuring it all out. And he's like, oh, I want to mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know the full story yet, but he was just saying that like basically sounds like he was making a turn, but he was coming up and this guy looked like he was gonna turn, but he wasn't turning. So he was like, well, he's not gonna turn. So then right when he gets into the turn to the point where like he's committed to like, oh, I'm gonna turn, the Porsche just pulls out in front of him and nails it.
Jeez.
So I don't know if there's more to the story or anything like that, but I don't know. Hopefully it's the other guy's fault, I guess. It's like, I was like, do you got insurance? He's like, oh yeah. And the other guy's got a Porsche. I'm sure he's got insurance. I'm like, health insurance, man. You broke your wrist. He's like, oh, maybe. Dude.
Broken risks to be what, like $2,000 or something? I mean, it sucks, but it's not like the end of the world. It's not like cancer or something.
Well, yeah. It's probably, I would think it's more than that, dude. But depends. Depends how broken they are, I guess.
Yeah.
But it sucks though, because like, remember when Alex broke her wrist? And, you know, like she does drawing for her job or whatever, those drafts and stuff. I think it was like kind of a big deal. Like she was, you know, she basically couldn't do it, I don't think, until they healed.
Yeah. That does suck.
And Aaron's a server, so like, he's not going to be able to serve until his wrists are good. He
Yeah.
could probably swing it where people run his food for him, but thing is he works at like kind of a smaller restaurant, so I don't know if they have that sort of a capacity where they can just have people kind of help him more, you know, like it's a little place.
Yeah. He'd need to
When I
get
worked at Joe,
unemployment or something, right? Because he's not going to be able to carry plates and stuff.
right? I don't know how that's gonna work, but if like when I worked at Joe Sensors, if you were in that situation where like, you know, you got casts on or whatever, so you can obviously take orders, but you're not going to be able to lift anything. Well, it was a big enough restaurant where like people can run your food for you, and it would be shitty, but everybody would feel bad enough where it's like, yeah, we'll help you out. But I don't know if he works at a place that has like enough staff to do that efficiently. You know?
Yeah.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Jeez.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
The way he described it sounds like it's maybe the other guy's fault, but you know, Aaron's a pretty aggressive driver, so I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't leave room for error, you know?
Right. I feel like nobody sees motorcycles right now though, because everyone's on their phone or whatever. They've got this full self-driving bullshit that like doesn't even see people or bikes.
Yeah, supposed to, but you know, who knows?
Yeah.
The guy probably doesn't have that kind of car, but
I mean, even the BMWs and Porsches come with like driver assist, quote unquote, which is like, I mean, hopefully it's pretty decent. I don't know if it's camera based or radar based or whatever, but I just don't trust software that much. Not since you have the Boeings nose diving into the ground.
yeah, wasn't that like the sensor got fucked up and I thought it was upside down?
I thought it was the code literally had like a minus sign error.
Oh my god.
It was literally software. It was they were doing like sprint driven development with like super aggressive deadlines, and then whoop, yep, tiny bug. Super bad. And it's bad that it had to happen to 2 planes before they found the issue. It's like, jeez, man.
Can you imagine that? Yeah, let's just push it to plane 1 and plane 2 and see how they do.
Can't imagine.
Gosh damn. Did that? I only vaguely know what you're talking about. Did they like actually crash the plane or what?
Yeah, no, it crashed 2 planes full of like, I don't know, a couple hundred people each, and everybody died on both planes. Immediately after takeoff too, they crashed like within 10 minutes of takeoff.
Wow.
Nuts, yeah. Everyone on Twitter still jokes about it. It's like, oh no, I'm in a, what is it, 737 Max or whatever. Like, pray for me. It's like, yeah, no kidding.
What's crazy is that I think even with those situations having happened, it's still like you personally way more rare than getting struck by lightning, right?
Yeah.
Although I wonder that probably changes when you're a pilot, huh? Like, you know, you're flying literally every day.
True. Yeah, I wonder how that math comes out. I always felt sketched about that stuff, like, oh, you're not gonna die in a flight. It's like, well, yeah, but mostly because most people don't fly, right? Per flight, I wonder what the risk is.
Well, I think per flight, I think that's still true per flight, but most people don't fly that much, even if they do fly, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you're a frequent flyer, what's the odds? And then if you're a pilot, right?
Yeah, but it's probably per mile. I wonder how it is per mile.
True. That sucks though, because then you can't. That sounds like a situation where you can't even be like, "Well, I'm a good pilot." It's like, well, the software's good, so too bad.
Right. The crazy thing is you're supposed to be able to override the software, but like the override was complicated to do or something, or like not working. I don't know.
Oh, I suppose if it's like immediately after takeoff, maybe they were too low to correct for that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Plus, if it's a minus sign error, maybe they were pulling on the stick and it's just diving more.
Yeah, they said it was, and then so they tried to turn it off, but apparently it just wasn't easy to turn off. So they sent in like training for it. Like, I don't know, it's just so bad if you need training.
Jeez, that's not the kind of training you want.
Right?
No, still, you know, the software might just put you in a nosedive,
Yeah.
and you can't just shut it off. You have to go through this complicated procedure.
Right.
So today's Labor Day, and I was like, I'll splurge, and I got another meal at this crisp and green place, but then I got the shake with it. Or, I don't know if it counts as a milkshake or whatever, but super good. And so it put me my calories, you know, at where I needed to be for the day without eating dinner, kind of a thing. I was like, oh, whatever. I'll just have something small later. And then my landlord Paula made spaghetti. She's like, "You want some?" I'm like, "Oh, can't pass up spaghetti." It's fun keeping track of this stuff though, because it's like I'm just looking at it, I'm like, yeah, you know, I overshot today, but it's not like by a ton. What really makes a difference is if you do this every day, you know. But my average for the week though went from like really good to not as, you know, not so great.
Oh man.
It's like, well, yeah, an extra 500 calories, you know, that's like, you know, 75 a day or whatever. And less than, I don't know what the math is, but makes a difference. But you just like run a lot and you eat vegetarian most of the time, so calories just end up being where they need to be.
I guess. I don't run that much. Maybe like once a week. I think we just mostly
Okay.
don't eat. We'll just be like both working and then be like, oh, we didn't really eat today. What do we have? I kind of snack a lot on like yogurt and granola bars and stuff.
I used to be like that when I was younger, but like now with this job especially, I noticed that, you know, it's one again, like with the kid thing when you're working on your computer, you can just waste a bunch of time on it because like it's just for video games or whatever you're trying to get working. So it doesn't matter. So if you like skip meals and stuff doing that, if you're not at peak performance, it also doesn't matter because like it's just entertainment anyway. But doing this job, I notice for sure that if I, you know, skip lunch or something, it ends up impacting me and I just can't think so well anymore.
Oh man.
So it's like, you might as well just stop and eat.
Yeah. I just hate cooking as well though. I'll usually just have Soylent or whatever. Yogurt.
Yeah.
The stuff to like keep you full enough, but like, I don't know.
Yeah. I'd almost do that, but I'm trying to eat a little healthier, so. It's
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I don't hate cooking. I hate taking the time to cook. And I also never feel like I know what I'm doing. But it's funny to me that like even making like a salad, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but somehow it just takes forever.
Yeah, it does.
Like, you know, because I'll like buy broccoli and cauliflower, but then it's kind of too big for a salad, so you gotta chop it up. And next thing you know, I got this like mess all over the kitchen. And then on top of that, I am sharing a kitchen, so like I can't really just be totally lazy and leave it a complete disaster, you know. So it's just like even making a salad, you think, oh, just make a quick salad and heat some chicken up in the microwave, and it's still somehow just doing that and eating it and everything takes like an hour.
I know, it always does.
Then you gotta, digest it, smoke a cigar. Next thing you know, it's like midnight.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, it's too late for coding. I'll just do it tomorrow.
It's kind of crazy how much time just life takes. It's like, oh yeah, then I gotta shower, then I gotta put the dishes away, and then gotta take the dog out. And then after all that, it's been like a few hours, let alone getting groceries, making food. It's like, man, it's like a full-time job. Can't imagine how people did it when they were commuting. I can imagine being at the office, especially if you're like a lawyer or something, you're at the office like 14 hours. It's no wonder those people only eat out for a living. They like never make food at home. If you're working a 14-hour shift, you're getting home at like 3 a.m. Like, heck, if you're gonna start cooking then.
Right. Yeah. I've always kind of ate out a lot just because, well, like fast food and stuff because I'm lazy, but I always thought just because I'm lazy. But now I'm like, well, there's the time plays into it.
Yeah, it's almost just all about the time, honestly.
That's why I like, part of why I like cottage cheese so much, because that is an actual easy thing to eat. Just get a bowl, put in about a cup of cottage cheese, and you throw a bunch of fruit into it. Takes like less than 5 minutes. You can eat it in about 5 minutes. You're done. But that's after like getting back home and doing whatever you do when you get back home and eat and all that. It still ends up taking like an hour, but
Right.
at least the food part of it is like 15 minutes tops. It's funny like how I obviously don't care about this ESG stuff, but I wish I was just working on that again, because even when it's hard, feels like I can be getting stuff done. I don't feel like I'm getting stuff done with some of this stuff I'm working on now. I just feel like I'm trudging along and like, I don't know what I did today. I definitely like saw through some problems and stuff, but it's still not working.
Yeah.
That one too that was killing me, the Shadow Rest, trying to like replace all of the existing peaks that it all fits into my stuff, ideally. But then I'm seeing that like, oh my fucking gosh. Section 9 financials is a defined term in this document? Are
Yeah.
you fucking kidding me? And, you know, so like I read the document to figure out why, but I can kind of see it. It's like, okay, fine. When you... because in that definition, it's like Section 9A and B, and then also the administration stuff in D. So it's like specifically A, B, and D, but apparently not C, or at least not directly. So it's like, I guess it means something in this document. It's not just a bullshit definition, but it's still stupid. I really want to get to the point though where the code logic checks out so that I can hopefully write, just the analysis document, which is basically non-existent right now, and get it into, reflecting the code so that I can actually start working with Richard on it as necessary. Because right now it's like, I could have Richard make a bunch of regexes for me, and it would offload a lot of the thinking I do, but only so much because there's a bunch of stuff. It's weird. Like when you look at it, you're like, oh, it's not that much code. The patterns aren't even that big, but it's just these little things about what you want to match and what you don't.
Yeah.
And I just think it's too nitty gritty to like go back and forth with Richard on it right now.
Right.
It would just go back and forth like one time, and then it'd be like a week on fixing all these little problems, and it wouldn't be much of a conversation. I really gotta get on it because there's actually like some backlog stuff with PIODs now, and Minna's been working on the level 2 analysis for a couple of them, and I just haven't talked to her in like 3 weeks now. And I feel bad, but she hasn't been messaging me. I think it's just not high priority. But all things considered, like they'd really like to get the level 2 stuff cranking, I think.
Yeah. For
And I
ESGs?
feel, for PIODs,
Oh.
ESG 2, but I guess I didn't mention level 2 ESG because I just don't really see it as a big deal. It probably will be difficult because probably the most useful level 2 type data, which as I understand is just like pulling the numbers out, that's going to be in the most complicated part of the analysis, so it will be difficult, but the whole thing by scratch. So like, I'm not going to be lost in that. It'll just be like, oh, I'm in this huge convoluted thing and I have to splice in this stuff now. And yeah.
An enemy is unstoppable.
I mean, you should be able to just... Every reference knows the numbers that's extracted if you just call extracted floats. It's like a property. Should be pretty straightforward. I guess if you have multiple numbers, you have to know which is which.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into it yet, but I think that's going to be the main thing. It's just like, okay, now we're going to do it. What actually are our patterns? And how do we get them? Because I think some of them don't even match the numbers. They like just point you to the spot where it's talking about it. I guess that's the thing. That's probably why maturity dates is so complicated, because we have stuff that it'll say, the such and such margin will be adjusted by this definition. But if you're going to pull out the numbers, then you have to follow it all the way rather than just pointing them to that definition. And in many cases that might not be so complicated, but I think I could foresee it being like we have to tunnel all the way down. And that gets to the point too where it's like, yeah, I wrote the whole thing, but I don't really remember at this point what I remember code logic, but like it's definitely to the point where Richard will tell me to do stuff and I'm like, I don't even know how you know that this would work. But I know how to implement it, so
Your team has destroyed a turret.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets annoyed with me sometimes because I'll probably ask them questions. Or be concerned about things that don't matter. Because I'm looking at the code, it looks like, oh man, this is tunneling in so many ways. You know, I don't know if that's going to work. It seems really broad. But then the lawyer logic of it is like, no, it's pretty specific actually. Yeah, when I first started in the first 3 months or so, I was always feeling like that. I'm like, dude, we're doing so much tunneling in this spot, like branching into, like, broadening our search so much. I don't know if it's gonna work, man. But I think from the lawyer side, it's like, well, we've already identified this part of the documents is what's relevant. Now we're tunneling in only into definitions with this context. Like, it's probably fairly direct, actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, technically your tunneling is broadening the scope of what you're searching, but you're always like trimming off branches, you know, each step of the way. So you're really trying to like tunnel in I don't know what the right term would be for that. It's like the graph of it is not really connected like a neural network, but I think it'd be kind of the equivalent of like a densely connected versus a sparsely connected network. Like it's actually, you know, I don't know if sparse is the right word, but it's not fully connected, so it's not as like crazy as it feels like when you're coding it without knowing what it means. Aaron getting in. This will be his third crash, technically.
Jeez.
On his bike.
That's crazy.
And then he's gotten in at least one car accident in his car. And that one was like 100% the guy's fault who rear-ended him. But like I said, Aaron also drives aggressively, so I think in that scenario, the guy rear-ended him because Aaron was probably already tailgating somebody and then slammed the brakes on. And you know, I wasn't there, but it just seemed like the reasonable thing that happened. And it's just kind of one of those things where you're like, yeah, I mean, the guy did rear-end you and he was tailgating you, so it is 100% on him. But at the same time, I know that you probably tailgate. You probably tailgate guy in front of you. And if you just cooled it a little bit, you wouldn't have had to slam the brakes on, and the guy tailgating you wouldn't have slammed it, you know? But anyways, it's one of those things where, you know, he's always like being into those situations and feels like it's not a coincidence.
Yeah.
You know what the story was with Kyle?
The what?
Your cousin? That's his name, right? Kyle?
Yeah. I don't know the details of it.
Oh.
Didn't ask.
Oh. I suppose I don't know if you just don't care or whatever, but probably could be kind of touchy to be just like, yeah, what's the nitty-gritty details?
Yeah.
He's playing.
I know the first one was the cop pulled out in front of him.
Yeah. I guess that's why I'm interested. Plus, you know, I've I really don't like 30, so it's hard to not have a negative attitude class. But you know, obviously it's a terrible thing. But it makes me wonder if it was a similar situation or if it was like just shitty, you know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like Aaron's actually a pretty good writer. I mean, you know, obviously it's all from what he's saying, but you know, I don't know. He's just telling me like his conversations with people. Apparently, when he goes on rides with people, because he's been going to the track too, to like, I think it's a little bit of a combination of taking lessons, but also just you know, your pace where you can ride on a track, and that's cool. But because of that, he knows how to like corner well and stuff. And I guess it's more complicated than you would think, just like the way the balance works and the traction and how you move your body and stuff. So he was saying that like when he goes on rides with people who have never done the track and they just do street riding, a lot of times they have way better bikes than he does because his is I think on the lower end of like power wise or whatever. But so they'll smoke him on any kind of straightaway, but he'll catch right back up to him on like the curvy roads. And so I don't know. Apparently he's like fairly good actually, as
Huh.
far as like the average guy goes at least. But I have sneaking suspicion that he relies on that too much. And see, he's crashed his pedal bike before, you know. I mean, the guy's been in the hospital. I don't know how many times at this point.
Yeah.
But on his bike though, his pedal bike, back in the day, you know, he'd be like complaining how people in cars drive. They don't know what they're doing. You know, they're always like freaking out when a biker. It's like, dude, I know what I'm doing. You just do your thing, and I'll go around you. And it's like, you might be good enough at biking to do that most of the time, but like, it's just not really how you should be assuming the situation. The other people, maybe they just aren't as good at driving as you and they do stupid things like that, counting on other people to not do stupid things at that point, you know. I don't know. He broke his wrists. I just hope he doesn't get in a rut because this kind of happened several times now where things will be going good with him, his job and stuff, but then something like that happens and then he like stays unemployed for longer than he really should, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. He's kind of like not the best person with money, you know? And so I don't know, he'll buy something when he's in debt or take on some debt when he doesn't have any savings or, you know, things like that that are just, obviously lead to problems. But then he gets like bad problems too, where he fractures his shoulder and he can't work for 3 months. And he just spent all his money or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And then I think he gets depressed about it, and then he doesn't work for like 6 months, even though he probably could have found a job 3 months in, you know, or whatever. And yeah, it sucks because then he gets way behind, and you know, then you're just way behind, and that's worse than being prudent with your money and being ahead, and then falling to just keeping up.
Yeah.
So I hope he can figure this one out. Oh yeah.
Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
He's like, don't tell mom that. But then he was also asking, because we were supposed to watch a movie on Wednesday.
An
And I'm like, well, you're gonna have to tell mom pretty soon, no matter what.
Yeah.
He sounded pretty good. Actually, like better than normal to be honest. But probably just because he's on the pain pills, so
has been destroyed.
nothing hurts.
That sucks though. Sometimes I wonder if I like broke my hands, won't be able to code. Have to go on, I guess, short-term disability for like 3 months or something.
Yeah.
Just read a bunch of books. I don't know, because you can't play games either without your hands.
Yeah.
Go running maybe a lot.
Probably wouldn't really be able to run even for a little while. I would think like you wouldn't want to be moving, jiggling your broken bones around.
Yeah, maybe. Or if you trip and fall, that would really suck.
Oh yeah, yeah. You can walk, I suppose. Yeah, when he fractured his shoulder, might have been like 2 years ago now.
An enemy has been
Apparently it was terrible. He said that it hurt so bad he couldn't sleep.
Oh man.
double kill.
And I think he tends to deal with pain pretty good. Of course, he smokes a bunch of weed, so maybe that's why. But he said like, yeah, nothing was helping. It just hurt so bad. And I guess they wouldn't give him opiates because they were like cracking down on that shit because there's the like opiate, epidemic going on. So they went from prescribing everyone hard drugs to like nobody.
Oh man.
So yeah, he was taking kratom, which is like I think it's like an unregulated herbal type of thing. But apparently it has, I don't know what the actual chemical is, but I think it's like similar to heroin. But I think it is addictive. Like there are people who just take tons of kratom, and that's obviously bad. But I don't think it's like strong enough. You're not gonna, unless you transition to heroin, you're not gonna probably become like a kratom junkie. But yeah, that's weird. But he was like, taking that because they wouldn't give him the hard stuff, the hospitals or whatever, which is probably technically a good thing. But at least in his case, it was like legitimately so painful he couldn't sleep for like a month. It's
Oh man.
it's terrible. Austin still doesn't have a job. I don't know if you knew about that or not, but he used to work at the same company my mom works for.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much doing the same thing. But he's got a kid, and his wife is, I don't know how to describe it, but I think she is kind of like doesn't really, she's not like a stay-at-home mom kind of person, I guess. And I think she could be because I think she's pretty good with her kid, but their personality is such that, at least my mom says that she needs to like have like social interaction or she gets like irritable or something. So she doesn't want to just like stay at home and watch the kid every day. So she's had a job for a long time now. sort of because of that. But also the thing is that Austin, because she got a job, Austin had to watch the kid more. And he was trying to do that while working, you know, doing his stuff. And I think they were just tight on money on top of it all, you know? So it was really conflicting with his work, and he wasn't getting as much work done. Which in his case is like sales, basically, with his insurance policies and stuff. So, like, it's not really something that he can just do whenever. He's got to actually talk to the people and enroll them, you know?
Yeah.
So if the schedule conflicts like that, it's not really great. And so he's trying to make that work, and I guess the company wasn't cool with it, I guess. It's hard to know, you know, what the real situation was. But my mom made it sound like they were kind of being shitty to him. But so they, you know, kind of let him go, basically. And, you know, they're independent contractors, so it's like a soft let go. It's just like, we're not going to give you really any business. So it's like, it's not like he was fired, he just doesn't get business. So, like, basically he's fired. And he was, like, kind of okay with that to a degree, because, you know, there's a lot of friction, I guess.
Yeah.
But turns out that, like, sales is, you know, as it is, even though it's insurance, it's just a different kind of sales. So he was trying to work for a few other companies, and they were like higher pressure versus the company my mom works for. So it's structured in such a way that, like, basically you have to care less about, like, does this person really need this policy, or does it really work for them? And it became a lot more of like, can I just get them to buy it? You know, buy something and buy the more expensive option. And that sort of didn't jive with him, but also made it harder. So he tried a couple companies out that didn't work out. He just wasn't making enough money without being like the sleazy sales guy, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's straight up given up on that, but he's kind of like out of options down that route, which sucks because, like, it's basically what his profession is at this point, but he can't really do it. And he's still got to watch the kid, you know? So luckily, Jasmine has been making more money. She's like a receptionist or something at a dental clinic. She switched clinics and got I think a halfway decent raise because of it. Probably partially because, you know, inflation and all that as well. So, like, everybody's just getting more money because everybody needs more money now. But
Well, changing
sounds
job,
like,
they say the median person changes their job gets 16% raise, whereas if you stay with the same company, it's like 8.
yeah, I think
Crazy.
that's kind of the situation where she got the better raise because she's just willing to leave.
Yeah.
But it was also kind of out of necessity because now she's making the money and he's still kind of just semi looking for work. I'm not really sure what the situation is, but you know, as far as like how hopeful he is at getting a job, kind of sounds like not hopeful at this point. Like he just needs to figure something out.
Yeah.
But at least though, I guess that's the marriage privilege right there, is that Jasmine's working. So, like, I think they're still making enough money to make the ends meet. It's just tight.
Yeah.
But for Aaron, he's single, and yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks. Then I'm on like a different level where I'm too lazy to switch jobs, and I'm also too prudent with my money, so I don't spend it. So then I don't have those problems, but I also can easily just fall into not working for a long period of time because I don't need to.
Yeah.
It's not good at all.
Right. You gotta be saving for retirement and stuff, so you can't take time off.
Yeah. And I really got to make sure that I consider that these days, because now I'm in my 30s and
Yeah, we're all getting late fucking starts. Even if you're maxing all your shit out, it's still gonna be tough to retire. Like, let alone with inflation, how long that keeps going high. Like, I
Yeah.
figure even if I max my 401k every year until I'm like 65, I'm only gonna have like $1 million or $2 million, which sounds like a lot, but in 30 years, it might not actually be that much. It might be like the median price of a house. And is that gonna last you 20 years if you retire at 65? I don't know, right? Like,
I think that's
super tricky.
why you hear about, you know, seniors complaining about Social Security and stuff where they're on a limited income. Like, you just hear that, like, what am I supposed to do? I'm on a limited income. And it's always irritated me because I feel like, well, you retired, you know, what do you expect? But at the same time, if you're just not aware or the economy changes, like you retired on what you thought was good money, and then 5 years later, inflation's been such that it's not.
Yeah.
But I'm
I
not
mean,
super
even just
concerned about
inflation
that.
aside, it's just all kind of bullshit. Like these Northwestern Mutual people say, "Oh, put in this much every month, you'll have 3 million in 50 years," and it sounds great because 3 million today would be amazing. But you don't think that in 50 years it's gonna be like, yeah, it'll be all right. But like, you're not gonna be
Yeah.
rich by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah,
An enemy has
I don't remember the details, but my landlord here mentioned that she had some retirement account and it was like doing really well at one point. And then I think it was during that housing crash or something. This might have been a while
yeah.
ago then. But basically, like, it was doing really well. And she just had a guy managing it. And then whenever some downturn happened, the dude just had it invested in such a way that it lost like most of its value, you know?
Right.
And I
That
don't
too.
think she like it's not like she doesn't have an account. I mean, it's not like I even know the details, but it sounds like, you know, she still has like something and all that, but it just sounds shitty because it seems so good, and then, you know, the market went down and now it's lost all of that like really seemingly, you know,
Yeah. I mean, that's
high
another
level.
factor. You're never going to retire during the bull market, right? You have to consider the worst case scenario, which is you're going to have to retire in the middle of a bear market and your shit's going to be worth half what you thought it was. So now instead of 3 million you've saved up over your lifetime, you got 1.5 and now you can't
Yeah.
retire. So now, like, I'm pretty much just convinced I'm going to work till I die. Even if I keep making Amazon salary, it's just like, it's so almost impossible to retire on your own means. Like, I don't know how people do it, honestly.
Yeah. That's probably why people hate the rich or whatever, you know, some people.
Yeah.
I assume, anyways, because like I think if you actually straight up own a company, or at least part of a company, most people probably don't straight up own a company, but like, you know, whatever, you own a significant portion of your company, but it's like a real company, and as long as it's a business and not, you know, going out of business, that would be one thing. But if it's just in business and it stays in business, it's gonna float with the economy. So whatever you get from it, it's going to be worth whatever it is in the context of still in the economy.
Right.
But yeah, that retirement stuff, I mean, it's not like I know how it all works, but there's an element of like you're exiting the economy. So if the economy moves away from you, you're not moving with it.
Yeah. Right. Also about the small businesses, yeah, it's like if you have a successful business or whatever, you can just retire today. Like, it's surprisingly easy to have a business that'll make you like millions like today. Whereas if you work your whole life as a wagey, you're lucky if you're gonna have a few million to retire when you're 65. And that's just the trade-off, I guess, from not taking any risk.
Yeah, it's super interesting concept. I'm mostly just speculating here, but yeah. It's a weird thing. I could see how you could be bitter about it if you feel like, you know, I worked all my life and get nothing for it or whatever.
Yeah. And there's a
Like,
girl who's like on OnlyFans for a month and they make 6 figures a month. It's like, oh, well, there you go. Taking her
I
time.
mean, I suppose some people will go that far with it, but I feel like you can't really be mad about that because it's like, well, do you really feel like you should have prostituted yourself so that you would be a millionaire? Like,
I would, hands down. if I had the opportunity, but there's a genetic element of it, right? Like you're either beautiful or you're not. And you gotta be the right gender and the right time. And then there's also probably a healthy amount of luck because I'm sure there's a lot of attractive girls trying to do OnlyFans and not really making it.
Yeah, that too. But that's all super dangerous though too, because like, especially females, you know, they're super attractive when they're young, and then not so much when they're older. And if you're relying on that sort of income and you're not smart, like you're gonna burn through it during your peak, and there is no recovering that.
Right.
Plus, like with the, you know, porn stars or straight up prostitutes or whatever, a lot of times there's drugs involved, so you're like really fucking yourself over. And then once all that catches up with you and you don't have the marketable value anymore, it's not like you can, like, how do you transition that type of profession into the next thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, OnlyFans, you probably just make enough in a few years and then just stop forever.
In theory, but what I'm saying is, like, for instance, like Aaron, like I was saying, he's never really been that great with money. He gets it, and he almost catches up on his debts and stuff, but he's catching up seemingly so quick that he's spending it too. And then something like this happens. This happened several times now, where he has this, you know, crisis happen where, oh, now he can't work. So while he almost got caught up, he could have been ahead, but he decided to spend his money on stuff because now he has it, you know? But now he can't work, so now he doesn't have an income, and he's already probably slightly behind as it is, so he's just fucked, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, when you're raking in millions on OnlyFans, you can easily see how, well, you're raking in millions, like, you can just put that away. But a lot of people don't just put it away, they get the house and all that, you know?
Yeah, but I don't know if you could. I guess if you get like a $25 million house or something.
Well, first of all, most of those people aren't in that top echelon. But secondly, there's people who have won the lottery and they've won an ungodly amount of money, and they literally blow it all on hookers and blow. And you can do, you know, like it's possible to waste a lot of. Like this dude I worked with, Gina Maria's, who was like kind of a manager there. I mean, he was, but you know, like I guess maybe it's because it's a family business and stuff that the owners were pretty much the managers, and the managers were really just closer to supervisors, you know. So I'm just like, you know, and this guy's like between 40 and 50. And he seemed like, I don't know, he seemed like he's somebody who could manage a pizza shop if he wanted to, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, but why is this guy like there and he's not, he wasn't the manager of the pizza shop, he was just one of the managers. Like, how does he get to that point? Because he was talking about like, he's also doing like renovations on his house, and he's gonna try to rent it out on Airbnb and stuff. It just seemed like he was semi put together, but he's also just like this pizza shop. Like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out he's a drug dealer.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like, that's probably where the renovations money comes from. But then also, I don't know, in my family, it's just common to really, like, joke about, like, doing hard drugs or something, because nobody does. So, you know, it's just a stupid joke, like, yeah, we're just smoking some meth, whatever. So I made some stupid joke like that at work, and totally didn't think about, like, well, you know, it's not as funny when, like, other people probably actually have done that. And so I made some joke about cocaine or something, and he was just like, yeah, I've done a bunch of cocaine. And I was like, oh, okay, let's less for coke now. Like, yeah. And he's like, I think I probably spent $80,000 on cocaine. I'm
Jeez.
like, holy shit. And, you know, as much as I was saying this guy seems like relatively put together or something, he's got a house and stuff, he doesn't seem like somebody who could afford to blow 80 grand on cocaine, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's probably what he did. He just did get to like the management level at this type of like pizza, fast food, whatever he was managing, whenever, and was making okay money. And he blew it all on cocaine. And went to treatment and all that kind of stuff. And now he's like trying to recover his life basically over the last decade or whatever. And he's an alcoholic still. And, you know, like, that shit adds up.
Your turret has been destroyed.
But like that guy, for instance, I guarantee you, if he was a millionaire at that time, he would have blown a lot more than he did. Okay, you know.
Right.
My one older crazy cousin from California that I've talked about sometimes, his name's Scott. He used to work at like a Shakey's Pizza or something in California, and he's like, you know, a generation older than me, so he's like my mom's age. So it was like back in the 80s, which was like the golden era of pizza or whatever, maybe the 90s or something. Actually, I think this was yeah, it's probably. But anyways, yeah, he's a high risk kind of guy. He was saying how like he also tells kind of exaggerated stories, so he was probably exaggerating quite a bit, but still, you know, they managed this pizza place, and it was a chain, sort of. Anyways, they were franchise or whatever. Like, basically, the owners were like one step removed from the day-to-day operations, and they were managing this pizza shop really good, I guess. And I think it was also, again, like the golden era of pizza, so like it wasn't necessarily that hard to make a pizza shop profitable. And so they were just making like the store was making really good money, and they were probably getting paid okay or whatever to manage it. And I think he was like the assistant manager or something. The other guy that was running the store, you know, his buddy or something. And they started dipping into the till because they're making so much money. The owners weren't really keeping track of the books, so they just started taking money out of the till. And apparently they were making so much money that you couldn't even tell that it was missing, because like the store was just doing really well, even though that they were dipping in, you know. But it progressed. The next thing you know, they're like going out partying later and later, taking flights to like, I don't know how often they do this, but they would just like take a flight to New York for like the weekend on the company's dime, you know, and party it up and then fly back, buy some nice things or something. Like, totally terrible, you know? But eventually got to the point where they're missing shifts, and the operation of the place is going downhill because they're just, you know, doing coke. They're like hookers and blow, you know? And I'm like rolling up at like 10 a.m. for the shift in a limo, and with probably hookers in it or something, and like, you know, just falling apart as like productive people. And then eventually, you know, whatever they were taking was enough where it's like, oh, now the store is not doing well, and the whole thing just fell apart, you know.
Wow.
So anyway, all I'm saying is that, you know, you think you're cheating because you're getting ahead doing OnlyFans, but chances are those kinds of people are not the most responsible people. I think it was you that sent me something about, I think I watched some YouTube video that just mentioned this, that like the average lifespan of a YouTube channel is like 5 to 7 years or something like that.
Oh wow.
And you gotta think that these people have that problem too, is you get really big on YouTube, especially if you're just like 5 years in, you're at the peak of your YouTube career, but you don't even know it because you have the audience. Everybody watches your videos and put them out, and you're just really making money hand over fist. You know, you got people you're employing to edit your videos and all this kind of stuff. But then eventually people just lose interest. They've watched you for 5 years and it's the same old whatever, and that video game is not in style anymore, whatever it is you're doing. And they just move on, and then all of a sudden you don't have an audience anymore. And like, what did you do with your money? Because you can't just get the audience back, you know?
Right.
Especially if you kind of accidentally lucked out.
Usually by that point you've made enough at least. Like even Destiny, like the old StarCraft Pro player streams. He's like pretty big.
Oh.
I wouldn't say he's like that big. He's got maybe 5,000 people watch his live streams. And he's got like 15 million in the bank or something, which is like definitely enough to retire on. He doesn't have to be working anymore. I think it's pretty easy to hit that if you've got a business. But if you're working, like you'll never save up 15 million. Even if you're like real high up at Amazon. Like even if your salary is like $1 million a year, after tax that's what, 500K. Even if you save almost all of that every year, can you really get to 15 million? It's going to take you like
that's still
40 years.
If you save all of your 500 grand a year, which obviously you won't because you have expenses.
Yeah, still going to take you 30 years to get that much money. And you could get it in 1 year by just having a moderately successful YouTube channel or business or something. So it's just like, the rewards are so extreme.
Yeah.
Even if you think about selling stuff to people, like you just sell, like, I don't know, you have a $50 Mac app and you just sell like a couple copies a day. It can like replace your job so quick.
Yeah. I guess kind of right, that'd be cool if you figured out some kind of app like or something that would turn into something like that.
Yeah, that's the way you gotta do it. I mean, even Namu is worth what, like 60 million? And like, I don't know what Samira's got, 10% stake at least, I bet. And so yeah, that's like $6 million. I mean, granted, it took her like years, like 5 years, 6 years.
Yeah.
And it's still
And
not
she had
purchased.
She was like partnering too, right? So she probably had.
She was probably making $1 million a year, yeah, the partner.
She probably had $6 million of value from her actual job.
Yeah, I'm sure she did.
She needs interesting. So she kind of needs it to go nuclear too, or at least relatively nuclear.
Yeah, but she also just enjoys it more. That's what she said when she started it, because I don't even know if she takes salary. Honestly, most CEOs don't take any salary. She's like, yeah, I just enjoy this more.
Yeah, that's cool, but I'm just saying, like, as the monetary trade-off, like, it needs to be super successful for it to have been worth leaving partner at was it White and Chase? Or White and Case?
Yeah, Wait in Case. Yeah, this partner I'm sure is a 7-figure job.
Was Darcy like partner too, or was she just working?
I don't think she was partner, but she was on her team.
Yeah. I was like losing steam the other night. I was going back through like the random channel slacks and stuff, and it was a really funny little set of posts where I think David had like rabbits in his yard or something. He showed a picture of them, and I put the bullseye emoji on it. Or no, I think bow and arrow. She was like, Andrew, stop. I could see that though with Samir. Like, if you're in that group of people at the company where, as long as it doesn't go under, you're gonna be okay. It's kind of just fun to have a little small company that kicks ass.
Yeah. Especially because she kept saying, oh, this could be better, that could be better, but it's hard to get momentum in a big company to do anything.
Yeah. You gotta respect the initiative though, because like even on the low level, like at Gina Marie's, it's so easy to criticize things. But if you peek behind the curtains a little bit, you're like, well, yes, they should do this better, differently, or take the leap and improve the POS system, or whatever it may be. But they're also dealing with like a lot of different things that you don't realize, you know?
Right.
It's not so like it's not so easy that you can just do it better. Otherwise, why aren't you? You know? But if you're that kind of person, I guess you start a company and maybe you do.
I don't think I have that mindset right now.
I was in some meeting with, I don't know, I think they were just kind of including me for the hell of it or something, but it's about like the sustainability tables or something. And I'm kind of like, I don't know what I have to contribute here. Like, yeah, I do the SLL stuff, but it's basically like, I don't know, David, can you produce a table that we can analyze? Because until that point, like, I don't really know, like, am I going to work on the table? Otherwise, like, you know, you lawyers know what is in the table, and if the table is analyzable, then I'll just analyze it, but otherwise, like, I don't know what I can contribute. And they're talking about some problem with the tables, and I didn't know what else to say, so I was just pointing out some problem with it or something. And Samir's like, well, yeah, but we'll just solve it. And I'm like, oh. And I don't remember exactly like what the situation was, but it was just one of those things where it's like, oh, she doesn't really care that it's a problem. Like, she wants to just solve problems.
Yeah.
And I'm more like, I don't know if we should tackle that because it looks like impossible.
Yeah, some stuff is just not worth the time.
But then it's like, oh, I guess the product is to do that because it is impossible. Otherwise, the bank would just already be doing it, you know, in theory.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, I get it. I guess our job is to solve those hard problems. But then, you know, David somehow does. That's really nuts, man.
Yeah. David just has like a million case handlings in the code, but that's how you have to do it. I mean, the case is, you know, it's an extreme case, it's an edge case, and the best way to handle edge cases is edge case code.
Yeah. Yeah, if you can box it off into the edge case, that's supposed to.
Yeah, it's just like recognize it, and then once you've recognized that you're in an edge case, just run the edge case subroutine. Because if you try to handle edge cases in your main code business logic just gets like super complicated.
I think that's what my problem is with what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, like with handling it all in one regex pattern.
Yeah, well, I've sort of moved beyond that, but I've still got a little bit of spaghetti stuff going on. I wouldn't say it's that bad, but part of the problem is I think I have some code in there that might not be used, a couple functions or something. But it's just because like I did the like round 1 and actually lost the round 1 code, so it really like started with round 2 this time, and then it was like, oh yeah, that doesn't work, so then I got round 3, but then round 3 like kind of works. Yeah, that's what it grabbed, like the easy cases of those ranges that like occur on their own. But now the ones we're missing are going to be naturally the ones that occur in the group that we're not going to. We don't parse the whole group. So now I have to parse the whole group. But now the singular ones, I'm still like reusing that code because it's a little bit of logic that I didn't really want to redo. But it doesn't directly slot into the group logic. So now I have kind of like 2 iterations going on simultaneously. It's not great. It should be kind of more unified. I don't know. It's like doable. It's just the main thing is when you run it, and instead of anything like generally not getting picked up, I have the issue where it's like, oh, now we're dropping words in the sentence completely. It's like that's a way bigger issue than just missing a match. So I'm fixing like problems that aren't that are. I'm basically it feels like I'm fixing more bugs than I am problems,
Yeah.
and it takes longer. What was that? Oh yeah, I figured out fixed one major problem, which is good. I figured out that my code had some bad logic in it, which it was like solid in replacing certain like references, as long as it was like replacing the same length or shorter of a match. But if there was like, for instance, that's what happens, this definition, section whatever financials, well, my code only matched section, or like section 9, but not the financials part. So
Oh.
because the existing match was longer, my insertion logic just inserted the shorter match and didn't account for the trailing words in that longer match. So we dropped that financial, and then luckily I, have it check to see if the all the words are still the same, and that's what was failing in the diff. Which brings me back to like, it took me so long to make that diff even work, but it's super critical that I'm able to do that diff process, because that's where I caught this. And if we didn't catch that, especially it was on like the end of the sentence too, so it just would have occurred when you load the document in the app. You just see blah 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 in section 9, and that would look fucking right, but you don't know that it's trimming off financials and it's really this definition, and you wouldn't even be able to figure that out really, just by looking at it, because it would have trimmed off that extra word and you'd just never see it, and that would be extremely bad. So yeah, it's super critical to catch that in the diffs, and I have it like print out in red when that happens, so yeah. Why do I was smart enough to do that? Well, I fixed that, and I think I'm back down to just that problem with those dashes, and yeah.
Enemy double kill.
The shitty part about the dashes, being kind of trimmed out or whatever, is it'd be one thing if it was just like turning a dash into a space, but there's many cases where turns like if it's a space dash space, it reduces that to a single space. So wait, and even that's solvable. I think it's mostly, yeah. If you want to keep the dash in the text, I could almost do it by just putting it into the word, quote unquote word, you get a hyphenated word, you like attach the dash to one or the other subwords basically. But the thing is the way the front end works is it's going to insert a space in between. It's not like, I guess that would probably, it might be better than just losing the dash. But fundamentally, then we're adding a space, and that looks bad. And it looks more obviously bad than the missing dash in most cases, I would say.
Yeah.
So, but then that complication is like, well, that's like a hacky back-end solution, and then the front end, I don't have really control over. I'm not going to build any of that, so I need the front end and the back end to agree on this now. And that's a different ask than, hey, just get some matches. It's like, oh, hey, fundamentally change the core logic here.
Right.
And that's the thing too. It's not really even the ask. It's just that I happen to be in that spot and this is a problem. So it's like, why wouldn't I try to fix it? I need this computer to work first, and then I can go back to that, and then I don't know what my plan is. I think think I just gotta get a decent diff working. As in, like, you know, mostly better results. And if I can get to that point, we pick up on more of these ranges and it starts looking really good, then I can try to change that core logic. But I'm just worried, and I haven't even really looked that hard because I know that there's a bunch of random ass places in the code where you're just like, oh yeah, to turn the text into words, you just replace all the dashes and split on space. And it's like, yeah, well, that's A, wrong, because there's a little extra to it. But B, that's not a function. I can't just change the function. I have to go find all those places and make sure it works with the code existing there. You know,
Yeah.
that, I'm thinking that's going to be more pain than just subbing out a little.
Right.
Find and replace. And, oh yeah, and that's the worst part, is like, I'm sure that's done in probably, like, various parts of all the analyses, so, like, great. Now you're going to have a change in maturity dates, and facility types, and core provisions, and, like, I don't want to run all those diffs. Ooh. If I could potentially, I don't think it's going to happen. If I could wrap up a good update to this week, which, like I said, I don't think it's gonna happen, but if it did, I could potentially hang on to this other computer for, you know, a couple weeks or something, and do, you know, have two machines to diff on. That'd be dope.
Yeah. It's annoying keeping it in sync though, like pushing a branch to one, pulling the branch from the other, and all that.
Yeah.
And the snapshots, like the JSONs, are only on one machine at a time.
Yeah, but it'd be better than doing back-to-back maturity date and facility type tips. Or, like, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds stupid, but like I don't even know how to run those. I'm sure you just run it, but like I don't know. I guess I'm used to probably just the shadow code stuff. I'm always making updates to the diff itself because like, well, things work differently now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I've said this before, but I did a screen share last. I think it was the last stand-up, and Samira got to see the new shadow range that we were matching. Showed feature 1, and then I showed my local. I'm like, yeah, look, we're picking it up now. And then if you click on it, the one of the sections in the range also contained a range. You click on that, and you get. Brian did like a quick and dirty peak thing for it, so like you can click through the peaks now on the ranges. So it looked really good. And it sounded like Samira was happy to see some progress. So I'm like, yes,
Cool.
Please buy me like another fucking month.
Yeah.
I'm not that stressed out about it, but just like, I don't want to be wasting time. This feels like a black hole.
Yeah.
Right back 1 second.
Oh man, the 40 kill ADC both games feels good.
Right.
Oh man, dude, I was
Thank you.
checking.
God damn.
These guys are like bronze too. I'm like, man, I forgot how
What?
good bronze is. Yeah, the last game, the whole enemy team was bronze. I was like, there's no way that Fiora was bronze. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh, dude. That's
think-
crazy.
There's like, there must not be that much of a mechanical difference in the ranks anymore. Like, I don't even know.
It's all Smurfs.
Yeah, or
Look at that Q time, 0-second Q time.
That
That's
is
what's
nice.
up.
I like flex.
Yeah. Oh, I've had a rough couple games, dude.
Yeah, Nocturne. I felt bad because I kind of bailed into a few of those Nocturne fights. I'm like, yeah.
Dude, she'd yeah, the flash under the turret and she parried it. Had my
Actually-
crit auto. I was like, I'm gonna smoke this bitch.
We had her actually.
Nope.
Your Q was so close to landing. Or did she parry the Q? That's what it was.
Yes, yeah. It's fucked. She just runs up on you and just smashes you with her sword.
That Fiora was
Bam, bam,
super
bam, bam,
good.
bam, bam, bam. Yeah. for real. So she was silver? Or
I don't know
bronze?
what the
you were
Fiora was.
saying?
Let me
It's
check
bronze,
again.
silver.
Let me check again. There were a bunch of bronzies. I've been pulling up the live games. I'm like, oh no, Fiora was gold 4 actually. Pretty good relatively.
Yeah. God damn. That Amumu game was pretty fun though.
Yeah. Man, we almost came back when we killed him under our Nexus that first time. That was
Yeah,
cool.
no.
Just the
Was
freaking
winnable.
Kaisa. I can't believe that shield, Kevin. I thought she flashed while she was stealth or something, because like your ult did no damage. And I'm like, oh, I guess that's just her beefy ass
It
shield.
was supposed to kill her, it just missed. Like I don't know how it missed her, but she was red. It just
Oh,
didn't hit her,
okay.
I guess.
That was shield bow or something. I'm like, how did that not kill him? What the heck?
It's so freaking fast. Everybody except Braum. That Jarvan was just the glass cannon, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. That Jarvan would just walk into towers. I felt so bad.
Go Big Daddy.
Oh wow, that Jarvan was plat 4. And so was Kaisa. But there was a
Arvin got shit on, dude.
I was like, there's a moat there. Like, holy.
Dude, anytime Jarvan showed his face, he got smoked.
Yeah. That Zed was pretty good, but it's hard to tell because Zed is just so strong right now. Zed was silver too. Great. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he
Not
wasn't
even a
good.
Smurf.
Zed's just easy. He
Yeah.
wasn't doing like cool, crazy moves, right? You just run away half the time. It's all in somebody and teleport back.
Right.
Throw out shadow shurikens that do 1 million damage.
I gotta take Ignite because he's gonna definitely invade my jungle. And flex people always gotta show their EPs and do the jungle invades and all this flashy stuff.
Right? Sweaty
Kevin.
jungle pad.
Kevin always pings bushes across the river. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Get in there, get in there.
Get your ass in that bush, soldier.
Yeah.
Kevin, I like how early that last game we were both too polite trying to hand the kill to each other. Like, oh, Kevin's got it. He's in auto range.
Like, I'll be fine.
I think I even had Q up. I just was like, ah, you got it. Like,
Nobody wants to take the last slice, you know?
yeah.
Minnesota.
So nice.
Don't be that guy, you know?
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Wonder if that's a Minnesota thing or not. Oh, should we fuck on this kid? Oh,
Ooh. Easy flash. Oh, double AP bottom.
what?
Karthus
yeah,
Ari?
Thresh.
Wait,
Oh,
what's
no.
Thresh?
Oh, no,
Yeah,
bad.
Thresh, right?
Why was... Oh, they must have swapped. That's what it is.
Some nice bushes.
Lame.
Minions have spawned.
They got me. Got ward in here.
It must.
I think that was my passive. That is just not shooting enough. There, we found it.
Double ignite. Oh no, I didn't ignite. My ignite's on the other button.
You change what you use?
When I'm jungling, I always have smite on D because I always have flash on F. But yeah.
These barrels are so fucking annoying, dude.
You don't need a stack for him. It's the worst part. Can't even farm his barrels.
Nope.
Do you get a stack from Malzahar's crabs?
Thank you.
Okay.
Because they're alive, same as soul. Unlike his barrels. They're soul.
You go into like the lost temple that Nasus is from. There's like hieroglyphs of a bunch of like human sacrifices and then like a bunch of barrels.
What?
An enemy has been slain.
I was out of mana.
I'm coming around, right round. Oh shit.
My goodness, dude. You
I
got
should
him.
use my ignite.
Oh, what?
I was like saving my ignite, and I was like, I don't need it. Turns out I needed it.
Jeez.
Oh.
It's all good.
Enemy has been slain.
Yeah, what the fuck just happened?
He's just watching you take the scuttle.
Little creeper, with his 9 eyes. I can zoom in at him. Yeah.
I like that. It's hard to take dragon now that's got like double HP.
I know, right? Why is it so tanky low level?
Yeah. I could get the idea.
Dragon.
Durability update makes sense to make dragons more durable too, but like double HP and at level 1, like come on.
Right, so
Remember last game? That shock dragon? We didn't
Yeah,
take
I
it till
know.
like forever.
18
Yeah.
with a dragon, dude.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's insane. I was telling Kevin, I didn't even know I had creeps up top. We were just
Yeah,
down
that's
there
good.
just brawling.
Camille's always pushing the tower.
Oh, there's creeps up here? How'd these get here?
Who are these for? I'm gonna work hard this way. They bail on the rest, I guess.
Yeah.
See, now these are real bronzes, so I don't understand what happened last.
I feel like
It's fake
flex is such a, you know, it'll give you a win, then it'll just give you a loss. It'll just give you a win.
Back and forth.
Yeah. I guess we can try kill her next. She's out of mana. Oh my gosh. What is she doing? Girl? You got no mana. She used her last little bit of mana on freaking the foxfires, dude. She's got it right. Take it. I insist.
He's up here.
It's the A.
Yeah. Yeah.
Master Wee.
Master West.
I'll blew my ult on card that's a miss, so we killed the rest just be for default money, which kind of sucked.
Yeah. Wow.
I guess the flash.
Jeez, okay. Good. Pull all that.
Right.
Serve to
That's
live.
where he's been hiding his skills.
Yeah. There's the mechanics.
There's the mechanics. The mechanics with friends we made along the way.
An enemy has been
Oh my
slain.
god, this guy's got dumpstered. Oh no. They like this consolation prize ultimate though, that's why it's kind of it's like, well, you died? No, it's fine, don't worry, you can still live crap for HP. Don't you worry about it.
Can't believe they did Herald that early.
Guess he's the dragon now, huh?
It's dead. Bye bye.
Too bad this Donkey Kong yell is so freaking good. Oh man.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, thank you, anyone. It's like perfect.
Jeez. They actually probably got me here. Oh, he doesn't know. Hi. I should
Oh
have
my
seen
God,
it.
this
Oh, I'm
What?
coming, I'm coming.
Give him the exhaust. Oh yeah, I pinked this bush because I was out of yellows. Fresh out, I'm afraid. Oh,
A
that's a
bunch of
shame.
wusses.
Wait, he just
Yeah,
left? No,
can't
I thought
believe he
King
just
would
recalled.
stay. Oh, that sucked. Oh man, I was trying to book my way top too, that sucked.
I'll kill Arya again, but she's just kind of easy. Nice stun, wow. Where were those stuns last game?
Right? Do that one stun on Kai'Sa at the end of the game, I think would have like ended it.
Oh,
If
I
he got
know.
that,
It was
'cause she
so
would've died.
close.
Oh, man.
Man, there's no jungle to take, no enemies to gank.
Graves is not.
Cool. We've got the 2 pink wards top, we could just wait up there.
He's here.
Nice.
Oh,
Oh, god,
man,
that
what
crit.
the fuck?
Yeah.
I'll bait him.
I don't know. He's kind of too scared. Even
Yeah.
when it's presented to him on a platter, he's like, I don't know.
Come on, dude.
But what if?
Yeah, that's fine.
Loved and lost.
He's too scared to even farm. How pathetic. Yeah, exactly.
Reduced to playing with barrels.
Man, he just sits under tower.
You need game like my stacks. My bounty hunter stack.
Yeah, same. Dude, he won't even shove. What is this? This guy's like a diamond level
Dude,
top
what up?
player. Just freaking freezes. Like, look at this shit. So boring.
I don't got any mana. Give him a couple Qs though. What the fuck? Could be somebody else. Yeet.
There we go.
Ah, what the fuck?
Oh my
That
god.
was tight. The math was tight.
Kevin.
He was on my bounty hunter stacks too, so it's fine.
Oh shit. How is he?
Alright, fine, we'll fight.
Yeah, I don't know if we want this.
Probably not.
Got the extra dashes.
Aw, fuck. Yeah, we didn't want it, I suppose, huh?
I don't know if we could have got away though, because she's got her ult up. Oh. I think you could just kill her because she has no ult. That's fine. Gangplank's coming bottom.
He already ulted, so.
He's gonna give you a barrel to the face in about a second here. Thresh wants it.
Alrighty.
What
So
was
this is over
that?
on side. Let's wait for this. Gotta keep me.
There's the Gangplank. Dramatic entrance from stage left.
So,
Screw you, Gangplank. I remember you from top lane.
Oh, nice.
poor guy finally goes in and just gets dumped up. This is why I had to minus tower.
Gotta teleport top.
Karthus got a seal? What the heck? I think he is.
Oh, that tower's weak. Dang.
Shit. Didn't even realize.
He really gone back? Wow, he's just sitting under the tower. Look at that guy. Look at him.
Such a lame.
He's just standing.
He's literally touching the tower. There we go.
Got it.
Got him, Chief. Oh god, he just took the Shmeebops up here. Oh shit,
Oh,
it's a
shit,
bunch of them.
what?
I don't know if we want it. That's scary.
Oh, I should have ulted a long time ago, I think.
That's the SKT
Fuck.
T1 Faker. Oh shit, man, we're playing against Faker. I didn't even know.
God, dude.
Who invited him?
Why's he doing in bronze?
What's that, bro?
It's like flash, bro.
That was a good stun. Nice. Oh,
And another one of these fucking things?
I know they got 2 of them.
Fuck.
I think it's worth like 5 stacks if you can do that.
Oh shit.
It's like a big creep.
Ah. Oh. What the fuck?
I think we can kill this.
Karthus dying a lot, but he's farmed.
I got killed.
Oh, close. Great champ right there, great champ. I love how they made meditate like a 2-second cooldown. That's great. Good stuff.
And it also works against towers now. Like, there's a reason it didn't. And this is it. This is the reason. We're seeing the reason live.
Oh, nice try. Wow.
I like that. I like that enthusiasm.
Usually Gangplank is just fresh meat, but this one wiggles a lot. Never seen it.
He's really cracked out when he's not staying in his tower.
It's
That's what he does. He's got to save his energy.
Happy feet.
Also, that Karthus, that was pretty funny. After his Q.
Which way did I go? Which way did I go? Oh, we got her ult for my ult. I'll kill Karthus again. Somehow he has 9 kills. What?
He's dying.
We can kill this guy. Where's this fortune going? This is for kills right here. I'm looking at 2 for kills down here. 2 for 1. Oh, yeah.
Reward, drop reward. Oh shit.
It's okay. He's gonna have us all dead by the time teleporting
Oh
starts.
man. Oh fuck.
I don't know where this fortune went instead, but.
So I roamed up the drag. Unfortunately, he was there. Gives me a challenge. I don't even know who he's talking about. As if he's cleaning up Zolgi. Is it worth it for the 0-7 thresh? I don't know. I guess it is a recession. You gotta take what you can get.
Yeah, get build up, probably, yeah, collapse. There's the rest of it.
Oh, please burn, please burn! And I probably meditated out the ignite. And it'll do it.
Ow, what the hell? Karthus hurts, dude.
Yeah.
How much AP did he have? Holy. Got some raw rods.
At least Master Yi falls off late to make up for his 5-1 early game.
Yeah. It's super,
What?
it's super weak early game kit, you know, just falls out.
Liar.
He's probably soloing Baron right now. I'm too afraid to even look. It's like when I don't open Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Easy just not to look.
Dude, did you see that Bed Bath and Beyond? Like,
CEO killed
like,
himself?
yeah.
That's
Right.
messed up, dude.
He was like got insider trading 2 weeks ago or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
that's
whatever.
what I was joking with my wife's dad about. I was like, he just probably got busted with the BBY bullshit, running it up or
He
something.
did.
Actually?
Yeah. Well, he was yeah, he sold a ton right at the top, and so he got like summoned to court over it.
Oh man. Hell yeah, we needed that shit. I don't know how I'm on. Oh, I'm dead.
I
I was gonna say I don't know how I'm alive, but oh my god.
Oh, see you, Kevin. It's been nice knowing you. You've been chosen. Oh, that flash! Holy shit!
No.
That's
Why is
pretty
he faster
fancy.
than me?
Dude, holy cripe.
Probably gonna get me too, honestly. I'll walk over pink in
I
about
need
a
a,
second.
I need Thornmail next for sure.
Yeah, it's too bad he's got true damage in every swing.
True, yeah.
He literally can't do anything. It's like percent max health true damage, like, and a bajillion move speed.
Fucking gross.
Probably touching himself over by Baron right now, actually. Gotta go check.
I can teleport.
I don't know. Oh, shit, here he
Just
is.
taking your chicken.
Speak of the man.
Bitch!
Don't let him take them for good
Fuck
pleasure.
you!
Oh, he's got too
Oh.
much pride to take it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh wow,
Slow.
slow. Slowly threw off main. He's walking too slow.
Oh, he's gonna kill me. Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
shit.
So
Nice
he does,
knowing
he
you.
just sits there.
Dude, his Q hit for 600.
Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, it
He's
does
got
more
that.
if you're alone.
3 Qs was 13 damage, dude. What the fuck?
Finally a champion for fears.
Beard vision or something. Yeah.
Oh, nice barrel dodge. Playing some Donkey Kong NES right there. Hopping right over.
Trip soccer, that's what it's your first name.
Oh dang, that's 5 of them. Unless we kill E, I don't really care to even... Hi. Oh, that didn't even hurt. Oh damn, it's all fire drags too, that sucks. Like, doing 4 of those.
Oh my.
The master of the app.
We cannot help.
There's nothing doing there.
Holy cow.
Nice done an Ari.
I'm trying to pick up a porcupine.
They're 100% going to Baron right now.
Yeah, well, my C is still on if he attacks me. Already dead.
They're so. Oh shit! Nice! Get ye! Got it!
Oh, no.
Oh
He
my
leveled
god!
up
Fuck!
already?
Oh, they shortened the
Fuck
Q
me.
cooldown. Doesn't it reset on kill now? Or it's always done that? Yeah.
Man,
What a fun champ, dude.
Fuck!
the peak of skill.
And now he's soloing Baron because he can do that too. It's
Yeah.
literally, there's nothing Mastery you can't do. 1v5? 1v Baron? Oh, you can stop him. Ah, you ain't doing it.
doing it.
Wow. He shattered his pride. Pretty sure with Shield Bow and Rage Blade he can just do it, but okay. Plus they didn't increase Baron's health, did they? Just Dragon. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, he's only got five. He's got 5,000 more than Dragon. That's it. Like what?
Yeah.
The heck? He's
Feels,
supposed to be like the bomb.
yeah.
Nice man.
You kill him? Too easy though. Oh, I don't have my freaking hourglass. I gotta. Alright. He's not gonna ult. Not gonna ult. He didn't do it. Oh, there's the.
No, that's the end of the game right there. Mastery's got his ult up. This is a rage mode.
Yeah. Rage Blade and. I don't know what
900
else it
true damage, 1000 physical damage.
is. 50-50. I don't know who looked at that rework and was like, this is fine. Like choosing the Q exit alone was like too strong, and then they also like gave him the rest of the buffs. Crazy. Pick the weak one from the back.
Yeah, but he's only was there now. So.
In the herd. Splash. Alright. Oh, nice
Shoot, that's
guess.
just coming around.
Damn.
That sure should be coming towards it.
Oh, what the fuck hit us?
Karthus ult.
That's all.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, that's done. Nice.
He's on Baron. Obviously.
Oh. He's just
Run
soloing
for
it,
your
that's all.
life!
Now I gotta run for my life. Let's see. Are you gonna come for the dragon? Right? There's the bastard.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Oh, he saw me coming from a ward somewhere. Oh no! Shoot.
Shoot. God dang. Should've
Well,
jumped
he'll be
past
back for dragon, so we can kill him on his way to dragon. Come with me. Come hither. Oh shit, I Thresh. He's too scared. We need to kill Yi on his way to dragon. And we could take Thresh as a consolation prize.
Nice threat. Up this nature.
Man, dude. Stop running so fast, E. Slow down, dude.
Nimbus boots.
Oh
Wow.
my, what the fuck?
That'll be 100-0 soon.
I get spear fish. What a bitch ass tank, dude, you know?
Nice, the Yi's down!
I
The field is ours, friends. Okay, that was a sick play, I gotta say.
Arthas is dead, I see.
Yeah, Karthus has no ult either. What do we get out of it? Nothing. We get to farm some supers in peace.
Alright, because Mastery kills objectives in 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Very fun.
Oh man. How is he quicker than me? I'm the one with water walking here. I guess I'll shove out bottom. No one else will.
Take that tier 1 tower for the objective.
Back up, I'm coming. Arthas is fucking ridiculous, dude. I can't do anything.
Oh. Do I hourglass this? No, I'm fine.
14 fucking 100, dude. Oh, on his ult. What does he have?
Harvest too. This is Harvest too. And Leandro's gets bonus damage.
Harvest, I
That's
suppose.
Oh, nice.
Got the fucking bitch E, dude.
Yeah.
Oh shit, almost
no.
done.
No, I didn't think he was
Oh!
in range. No, I didn't think I was still in range.
What was it?
He was over there. He was so far away. I didn't think it reached that far.
Oh, nice. The inhibitor came up, dude. Haha, bitch.
Oh no, the TP. Is that E? No, Gangplank. The Gangplank's gonna be the one to end the game. That's hilarious. Kinda deserves it though.
Needs it, it seems like.
Oh shit. Fuck.
Killed him.
Oh!
He killed him.
Damn. We tried, boys. We tried.
Yeah. That's how league goes.
Sure is. I think I'm gonna call it a night there, you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds good.
Fun playing with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Cheers,
You as
guys.
well.